Tonight on the HPT, we're at the Ameristar in St. Charles, Missouri, where a field of 347 entries generated a prize pool of nearly $500,000. Going out in ninth place was Granite City, Illinois native Steve Graham. Short stacked and on the small blind, Steve shoved all in with his pocket sevens against the ace king of HB and was called. The flop, ace tray 6. HB pairs his ace and takes the lead. Needing to see running cards for a straight or a 7 on the turn or river, Steve got neither and was eliminated in ninth place, taking home just under $12,000. Tonight's 8th place finisher was Weldon Spring, Missouri native Greg Wood. From the big blind, Greg shoves all in with his ace 10 of diamonds and is called by the pocket 10s of Dan and the king queen of Ryan. The flop, 9 jack king 2 diamonds. Good news for Greg, he flops a gutter ball straight and a flush draw. No help for Dan's pocket 10s. He checks to Ryan, who now has a pair of kings, and he checks as well. The turn card was a blank, the deuce of hearts. Dan checks, Ryan bets, Dan gets out of the way. Heads up to the river, and that river card was the 6 of clubs. Ryan's pair of kings hold. Greg is eliminated in 8th place and goes home with just under $14,000. And finally, going out in 7th place was Peoria, Illinois native Ryan Julius. On the button with ace deuce of hearts, Ryan shoved all in and was called by Keith's king queen in the small blind. The flop, queen 7 10 2 spades. Keith pulls into the lead. The turn card was the 6 of hearts. Now Ryan needs to see an ace and only an ace on the river or he will be eliminated. And that river card was the 10 of clubs, ending Ryan's dream of becoming an HPT champion. But not for nothing, he walks away with just under $17,000. All right, folks, we have 6 players remaining and over $300,000 to award, and it all starts right now.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, alongside poker professional and coach Mr. Kenneth James. This week, we are here at the beautiful Ameristar Casino St. Charles. Nice little prize pool, almost $493,000.
And we have a lot of great competitors competing for that prize pool tonight. Keith Hine, HB, and up top, Maurice Hawkins. He's got so many titles in his trophy case. Will he have room for an HPT? He hasn't won one yet. Will tonight be his night? It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Well, besides the trophy for the case, it's also a huge 6-figure prize, just over $113,000. 6 players remain. Let's meet the entire final table. But most importantly, speaking of that cash, let's take a look at the prize pool.
Up top, $113,322. On down to 6th place, just under $20,000.
A lot of cash on the line this week, and you see the chip counts there. Leading the pack, Maurice Hawkins. He, of course, is known as a WSOP circuit connoisseur. The guy's got 11 rings.
Yeah, he does. Right near the top of there. But we're here on the HPT now. And the bottom 3 stacks all have 22 big blinds. It's going to be interesting to see which players try to ladder up and which players go for the title. Here's HB. He flats the raise from Maurice with his pocket 10s instead of 3-betting.
Yeah, I kind of figured HB would 3-bet that, but he's just going to make the call as now it is folded around, so we'll go heads up to the flop. Our first hand here coming to you from the Ameristar St. Charles. Comes out 7-4 tray, couple of diamonds.
Yeah, nice flop for HB, not facing any overcards. But Maurice, he was the pre-flop raiser, so he's going to c-bet. HB going to continue his story of just defending.
Turn card is the 5 of spades.
Now Maurice checks. Now HB going to protect his equity and go for some value here. He bets $200,000.
Yeah, 2 diamonds out there. The board with the straight draw as well. It's time for him to make a bet here. And Maurice will go away, and it'll work out just the way HB wanted it to. The 54-year-old from Chatham, Illinois, will drag the first pot of the night. Ooh, Maurice is in his ear early on here at this final table. I wasn't exactly sure what he said, but I don't think it was, hey, do you want to be my Facebook friend?
That's a good point, James. You know, hey, if you can't win the pot, sometimes, you know, you got to get what you can take. Little verbal jaunting there.
Well, HB off to a good start. Now in hand number 2, picks up yet another pocket pair, this time 7s.
Yeah, and this time he's the pre-flop raiser, making it $80K to go.
And now the action is folded around to the big blind of John Richards. And John is going to make the call.
This is a wide defend from an early position raiser with King 4. Let's see how it works out.
And the flop is King, Queen, 7, 2 spades. So John defending the big blind, pairs his king, but you see with HB, he flops a set.
Yeah, this is the problem when you defend this wide with big little. You're never really sure where you're at in the hand.
All right, so the bet is $100,000 by HB. He was the pre-flop raiser, keep in mind. So John's thinking, all right, what was he raising with? What cards did he have in his hand that he was raising with? But I caught a king. John's probably thinking, I'm probably good right now.
Yeah, he's weighing over his options. He does move all in and quickly called. He's not going to like the news, as you like to say, James. He's going to find himself in really bad shape with only a 2% chance to stay in this tournament. To the turn we go. It's a king. Now that fills HB up, but it gives John some extra outs. He only had 2%. Now he's 16%. Look at Maurice having a hard time containing himself, knowing it's a sweat card as we go to the river.
And it's not meant to be for John. The 8 of spades comes on the river, and HB is going to win the hand. But not for nothing, John Richards will go home with $19,710. And when we come back, we'll have more exciting action right here on the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. We're broadcasting from the Ameristar St. Charles. You see HB is the chip leader right now. 5 players remaining, Kenneth James, and big first prize this week, $113,322.
Yeah, and here are the 2 chip leaders sitting right next to one another. Maurice in second. He raises to $125,000, but he's got his chip leader on his left. HB looks like he wants to play again with Maurice.
Yeah, these two battled in the first hand, and you see Maurice raises to $125,000. We just mentioned HB is the chip leader. He's going to make the call here on the button with his king 8 of spades. I like it.
Calling wide. Those orange chips were $25K a piece. Those white and teal, those are $100,000 a piece if you're watching at home there trying to figure it out.
Go to the flop here. It's all diamonds. King 10 deuce. So HB pairs his king, but you see Maurice with the nut ace.
Yeah, now I like Maurice's sizing here. Just bets 125, a weak bet into this pot because he just has the draw. He also has a gut shot to the straight. He wants to manage the pot size. He's a pre-flop raiser. He wants to keep up initiative. So I like his attack in this pot. That's going to relegate HB probably to just call here. A lot of danger to navigate for him. And he does release it. So there we go. Our pot already up now, swelling to 580 as we go to the turn.
And the turn card is the 4 of clubs, so HB still in the lead, and now Maurice going to check over to the chip leader.
Yeah, he really wants to manage pot size, not allow this to get away from him, and he does get the check back to the river.
Well, no diamond on the river, but it's the Jack of Hearts. Maurice makes a straight. He checks over to HB. And HB's going to check as well, and they flip over their cards, and Maurice will see that he won the hand.
See the rest of the people at the table? You might want to play against them. Because I'm the wrong guy. You might not get the memo.
Wow, did you hear that from Maurice? I'm the wrong guy. You might not have gotten the memo. Now, Maurice's resume speaks for itself. Over $3 million in career earnings, 11 circuit rings, but some people don't like that kind of trash talk at the table.
Well, they don't, but, you know, Maurice, he doesn't like this guy on his left calling his raises. It gets kind of annoying, so he's going to use verbal banter and jarring him, trying to shake him off his tail, so to speak. As he's not going for it. Here he comes in. He's got the hand. He raises to $100,000.
And now Dan Luizzo with pocket nines. He's going to go all in. Dan, total career earnings just over $200,000. We've seen him a lot here on the HPT. And right now, he's going to see he's all in, but he's got the best hand.
Yeah, it's a coin flip situation with these two players.
2 big overs, the ace and the queen, going up against Dan's pocket nines. Let's go to the flop.
Ooh.
And just like that, ace-jack tray, HB goes in the lead.
This is just such a death sentence when you have the pocket pair and the overcard comes. Now you're just drawing to a 9 to the turn.
7 of diamonds, no help for Dan. He needs one of the remaining 9s left in the deck, or he will be eliminated. And the river card is the king of spades, so just like that, HB knocks out Dan, and he'll go home with $25,130. So we're knocking him down pretty quick this week on the HPT as we broadcast from the Ameristar St. Charles right here in beautiful St. Charles, Missouri. One of my favorite spots on the tour, Kenna. You and I, this was one of the first events we ever got to call together. And, you know, not too far from here, just down the street, some really great restaurants and some fun nightlife. So great to be here at the Ameristar. Want to thank the entire staff, the dealers, and, of course, everybody on the HPT for making this week as special as it has been. And speaking of this week, we have had 347 entries in this main event, and now we are down to our final 4.
Just a raise and take it there from Keith on the button with his king jack of spades. And wow, HB has really extended his lead now as we look down from the HPT blimp.
Gotta love that
it's
blimp
a
shot.
Great shot. Yeah, I love that shot.
A lot of big cards here. Action over to Keith. By the way, his first HPT event got into this thing for just $600. So what a success story that is for Keith Hine.
Yeah, that's what makes our tour so great. We have a great satellite structure and program to where you can vault into these events and really parlay a small amount of money into life-changing cash.
And look at this. Alan's going to go all in with his king jack. Keith is going to make the call, and Alan's going to see the bad news. He's going to need some help on the flop, turn, or river.
Yeah, he's a 3-2 dog. It's not that significant, but I tell you, when your tournament life is on the line, don't forget there's a $15,000 difference between 4th and 3rd, so I'm sure he's going to try and hang on as we go to the flop.
And it comes out ace, queen, 9, 2 clubs. Now, Alan does have running clubs or a gutter straight draw here, looking for a 10. Let's go to the turn card. It's the 9 of diamonds. So one more street for Alan to improve, or he will be eliminated.
He's holding on. You can see so much anticipation. To the river we go.
And the river card is the king of diamonds, and that is going to do it. Alan, who entered this tournament for just $375 through a qualifier, will go home with over $33K. Congratulations, my friend. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the HPT. As you can see, our final 3 players leading the pack is HB, but it's really anybody's game. I'm James Larson alongside Ken and James. Glad you're with us this week on the HPT from the Ameristar St. Charles.
Yeah, great to be with you. Saddle up next to you once again with the James gang here. Thanks for joining us. Here's Keith. Opening it up on the button. He's got ace jack of hearts. He's going to make it 100,000 to go. This is 2.2x. This is standard raising in today's game. Maurice in the small blind, 3 bets. I like this play.
I do too. Just a little re-raise here.
You know, want to play aggressive out of the position to shorten the hand, take the lead in the pot, and put your opponent who has table position you on his heels, so to speak, rather than just flat. I really like this aggressive play. So now he has the lead. His opponent's going to miss the flop 2 out of 3 times with a C-bet. He might just take it right here.
Flop is queen, 4 tray, couple of hearts.
That's not going to do it, though, because Keith now with the nut flush draw is not going to be going anywhere. Maurice, standard C-bet, continuation bet. Keith now, is he going to flat or raise? More than likely, just flat.
180,000 was the bet by Maurice. Keith makes the call. We go to the turn card. It's the 9 of spades.
Now does Maurice continue with his story? Earlier he gave up. He gives up here on the turn. Keith should put the hammer down here and leverage his position, but he decides to take the free card to the river.
And the river card is the king of clubs.
Wow. Now, Maurice, will you pull the trigger? Nope, he's willing to give up and show it down. Keith looks like he's going to try and bluff with the best hand here.
Going to bet 500,000, and the best hand will take down the pot. Now, a minute ago, you talked about how important position is. Explain that to our viewers who don't exactly know what you're talking about, and how important is position?
It's extremely important. One of the basics of poker, it means that you're last to act. And when you're last to act, you have all the information of your opponents that plays out in front of you, and then you can utilize that to make your best decision.
All right, well, on the button here is HB. He is our chip leader. He's looking to make a little raise here, and he's going to do just that. Going to go to 100,000 with his king tray of clubs. Keith looks down at a suited up Jack 9. I love seeing first-time HPT players make a final table.
It's so great.
You know they'll be back for more.
Such an introduction to the game. And now a re-raise from Keith. So a lot of aggressive play. You see this? And that's why these players are here. Poker's an aggressive game, meaning betting and raising tends to win the day rather than checking and calling. So he re-raises to 225, putting it right to HB, but he's going to, what we call, defend his equity. His equity is his percentage chance to win the hand, and you just don't want to give that up and throw your cards in the muck all the time.
All right, to the flop we go. Right in the window, you see the king of diamonds, followed by the 10 and the 6. So HB, nice little flop.
And this is why you don't give up your equity. You know, 70% of the hand is defined on the flop. And now he goes from a raggedy hand of king 3. He's got top pair. And he's looking to make the call.
Make the call. Keith bet the 250. HB makes the call.
Don't do the pushing when the donkey's a pulling, so to speak.
7 of clubs there comes on the turn. As you can see, Keith looking for a gutter 8 to make his straight.
Keith showing so much aggression in this hand. He's really trying to sell ace-king here as he raised pre, bet flop, firing again on the turn, but this is just not going to get through. HB's hand keeps developing stronger and stronger.
Got the kings and the club draw.
And he moves all in, and just like that, Keith's bluff story goes into the muck along with his cards.
I've watched the last 6 times, raise 3-bet flat, bet fold.
And now Maurice, I feel like he's talking more than we are. Maybe we should get that guy a microphone himself.
Yeah, he's letting his opponent know, I know what's going on here. Don't try this on me.
So Keith on the button here looks down at 7-6. He's going to raise it up to 110,000. Maurice takes the shades off, and he's going to go ahead and make the call with his suited ace-deuce.
Looks very comfortable here at the final table. I like his focus, up and out. Look at his eyes darting back and forth between opponents.
Yeah, I think guys like this are good for the game. They're having fun. He's smiling. He's needling a little bit. Hey, it's okay.
He's got a lot going on here.
HB, he defends with a junky 5-deuce here, hoping to get lucky on the flop, and it comes out Jack 5-4, couple of hearts.
Yeah, and an open-ended straight from Keith and a gutter ball with Maurice. He's going to take his stab at it right here, right now. He's got a gut shot to the wheel, the overcard with the ace. Let me see if these guys have flopped anything.
Now action over to Keith, who's got the open-ended straight draw.
He's also got position, just what you were saying, James. Now he's on the button. He's going to make the call. See, this puts pressure on your opponent who's out of position now to make another decision here.
And there is the 6 of spades. So Keith pairing his 6. Both players going to check. Now let's go to the river card. And it's the 6 of diamonds. So,
tripped it up.
Yeah. So Maurice checks his ace high over to Keith now with 3 of a kind, and he's reaching for chips.
Yeah, he's going to make a value bet, but when you make a value bet, you're trying to get called by a worse hand, and he does.
Wow.
Maurice does make the call with just ace high. He's figuring his opponent might just be on a busted flush draw. And that's why he called with ace high, but it wasn't to be.
Three-handed poker continues coming up next on the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. 3 players remain. HB up top. And then you got Keith, Maurice, on the short stack, but never count him out, man. He's got 11 WSOP rings, $3 million in total career earnings, and now he's all in for his tournament life.
Yeah, he's got heart, too, and he fights for it every hand. He's on the short stack now. He gets it all in with a button shove with Queen Jack. He's called by HB.
And Keith has got to make the call, too. He's got pocket tens.
Yeah, well, some players might think, you know, it's better to raise in this spot and go heads up. Other players say, no, you know what, let me just call and let's go 2 against 1 to get a player knocked out so we jump up, you know, 23,000.
Yeah, exactly. Ladder up another 20
Right.
G's here. Nothing wrong with that. So Keith elects just to make the call. Pocket tens in the lead. We go to the flop. It comes out king, queen, 4, couple of spades.
Yeah, nice flop for Maurice here. He goes into the lead.
Both players going to check. A pot of about 2.7 million chips. Time to go to the turn card now. It's the Jack of Diamonds. So queens and jacks now for Maurice.
Ooh, look at this. You see how Maurice gets up? That's, you know, this is subconsciously. He's letting the other players know, hey, I have no chance at winning this pot, hoping that one of them bets. So he only has to go against one player, but it doesn't work. Both players stay in to a king river.
We got to see all 3 hands here, ladies and gentlemen. Maurice doesn't care that his jacks were counterfeited. Kings and queens, good enough for the full triple up.
Go. Did not like that king on the river at all.
He didn't like it, but he'll take it. A triple up for Maurice Hawkins. He's right back in this.
Boy, not the guy you want to give more chips to, that's for sure. And now Maurice right back in this thing, and he's on the button, looking to raise it up. He's got king 9.
He just dribbles those 25K chips into the pot, you know, like a basketball. He raises it up to 100,000 on the button. Now back over to HB, who's been a thorn in his side. This is the one time he gets out of the way.
Keith now in the big blind. His holdings are Jack 8, and he's going to go ahead and make the call. Maurice in the lead right now, and we go to the flop. It's 9-6 tray, couple of clubs.
Top pair for Maurice.
Keith is going to lead out with 125,000.
He's got very little equity in this hand, so I think he's going to take one stab and done here.
And Maurice makes the call of 125,000 chips. So now we go to the turn card. It's the 5 of spades.
And I think Keith should be done with this hand, but he picks up a gut shot, so maybe that's enough to encourage him to keep his bluff line going. It's not going to get through.
175,000 and a quick call by Maurice. Let's go to the river card. It's another 5, this time the 5 of diamonds. And Keith going to stab one more time at this pot. And I don't think it's going to be enough for Maurice to throw away his hand.
Nope, 300,000 and a quick call, and that is it.
Maurice says, ship those chips over here, please. Back over to me.
Nicely played hand by Maurice. Just letting his opponent keep betting the value of his own hand and maximizing his value rather than raising him off the bluff.
All right, James Larson with you alongside Ken and James. This is our 10th event here at the Ameristar St. Charles. We're just outside of St. Louis, about a 10-minute drive from the airport, and one of our favorite properties in the country. Maurice going to raise to 150,000 with his suited 9-8. Maurice heating up here a little bit since his triple up.
And he's feeling it too. You can see he's in stroke. You know, like a golfer is in stroke. Poker is the same way. Here again, he raises it up. Keith defending with 9-7. So both players suited with a 9 as we go to the flop.
And the flop is 9-8-6, couple of hearts.
Ooh, now this is interesting. Top 2 for Maurice. Top pair and an open-ended straight for Keith. Keith just, boy, he goes after it like a dog going after a bone, doesn't he?
The bet is 150,000. Maurice with his top 2 making that easy call. And now we go to the turn card. It's the 8 of diamonds. So a boat for Maurice.
Yeah, he fills up. And he's probably, this is like a replay of the last hand. Keith keeps betting, Maurice keeps calling. You know, it's like the cash register. Just keep ringing it up, baby.
All right, 300,000.
Oh, no, he
And
goes
now
for a raise.
Raises to 750,000.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the other line you can take and raise to charge the draws, and hopefully they get it all in, and they do.
All right, well, Keith is going to see the bad news here. He's basically drawn to a chop if a 9 hits the board.
Yeah, it's not an enviable position to be in, but
No, it
Maurice
really
has played this hand so beautifully.
I mean, look at the flop for me, too.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. This is a cool one.
We go to the river card. Look at that. Keith's taking his microphone off.
Yeah, well, he's relegated to his position, and apart from a 9 showing up on the river, we are going to be heads up. Maurice, just minutes ago it seemed like, was on fumes, looking like he was going to go out. He got the triple up, 1 card away from being heads up. There it is.
It's the 5 of clubs, and that's going to do it for Keith. He's eliminated in 3rd place, taking home just over $48,000. And when we come back from this commercial break, it's time for Heads Up Poker.
We started with 347 entries, and now we are down to our final 2. Welcome back to the HPT. I'm James Larson, alongside Ken and James.
Yeah, and those final 2 competitors are Maurice and HB. No surprise, these two have been going at it all night long. Maurice opens up heads-up play with a 3-2 chip lead, but HB, he is sticky, man, and if he catches a few flops, it's going to be an exciting heads-up battle to watch.
So let's take a closer look at the chip counts here. Maurice with about 58% of the chips in play, just over $6 million. Right behind him, though, is HB. Heads Up Poker starts right now on the HPT.
Yeah, and HB has been a thorn in Maurice's side all night long. It's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out.
Second place money, $71,743. First place, just over $113,000. We go to the flop, 2 8s and a deuce.
Look at this. HB flopping trips.
And Maurice, he catches the deuce there. He's going to bet $125,000. And
This is standard. You know, he's got a pair. You're a favorite when you flop a pair heads up, so he just leads for value. Oh, now he bets dark going into the turn.
in the dark is the wager. 4 of diamonds gives HP a full house.
Man.
And your opponent's betting in the dark. You got to love it.
Yeah, well, usually a dark quick bet like that signals strength to your opponent. And I think that's what he wanted to have happen. Obviously, it's not going to.
All right, so action on HB here to make this call, and he obviously will do that. No raise. And look at this. Maurice is going to make another bet in the dark before the first bets could get pulled in. River card, the King of Hearts.
Well, now HB's thinking, boy, I hope my opponent hit a flush and I can win a monster. Now there's $1 million in. His sizing here, James, key. I think maybe 300,000.
Yeah, 350, 375 maybe.
Yeah, I like that. See what he goes for. You know, the tendency for players is to overbet in this spot because you get lost in the strength of your hand and you want to maximize the most. And a lot of amateurs go for too much and then they don't get the call. Let's see what he does. At least he's considering it. I like this. Oh, he moves all in.
He's going to go all in, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, he was hoping that Maurice hit a flush, so that makes sense why he made that big bet.
All right, well, Maurice is going to fold. HB wins that pot. And heads-up action continues here on the HPT. Now, if you folks are out there watching this show thinking, hey, I could maybe play with these guys, well, why not give it a shot? Head on over to our website at hptpoker.com, and who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the Unreal Cash. All right, the raise now by HB to 200,000. Maurice is going to make the call with his Jack tray, and we go to the flop. Queen, Jack, 7.
Yeah, and players going to play a wide range of hands and heads up. Jack 3, awful wide, but like I said, it's really a flop game. So players are calling wide to see a flop.
HB with the gutter draw is going to bet 200,000. Maurice quickly makes the call. Let's go to the turn card. It's the king of diamonds.
This improves HB now to an open-ended straight. So he's going to continue to fire. This is gut check time for Maurice, but he doesn't take much time. He's in there with the best hand so far. To the river we go.
And the river card is the 6 of spades. Maurice with the check mark, and really all HB can do here is try to steal this one away or just wave that white flag.
Sometimes waving the white flag and saving your chips is the best play. Maurice, really good hand reading here, knows where he's at in the hand. He's calling whatever HB bets.
Yeah, you're right about that. Pot of about 1.5 million in the middle as we play heads-up poker here. Maurice and HB, and he's going to check.
Yep, he's going to get checked down.
Check down. Maurice is going to see the good news. Hey, I'll take that.
Yep.
Now remember, Kenna, Maurice was all in for his tournament life against 2 players.
Yeah, he tripled up, and that's what vaulted him, got his momentum going in the right direction. Now you see those teal and white 100K chips. He's got a big stack of them.
Big stack and a big hand here with pocket queens. Going to raise to $250,000.
Action now on HB. He's getting out some teal babies. This is not going to work. This is not going to work.
No, it's not. It's unfortunately for HB not going to work. He's got over $100,000 in total career earnings.
You got to hand it to him, though. I mean, he's not just sitting here letting somebody run over him. He's going to make a play with 6-4 offsuit.
No, and he's played great all week, Ken. I've got to give credit to HB. But this time, it's probably not going to get through as he re-raises to $620,000. And now Maurice, he says, yeah, let's go to 1.3, and that should be enough to get the 6-4 directly into the muck.
Right.
But you can't do it right away. You gotta, come on, give the guy a little TV time.
Yeah, it's called a tank, a false tank, right?
A little smile here.
You want your opponent to think you have a bigger hand than you do before they hit the muck. So,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, up top this week, $113,322. The heads-up action will continue after this quick commercial break. Welcome back to the HPT as Heads Up Poker continues, and you can see chip counts pretty close, my friend.
Yeah, 3 big blinds separate these 2 warriors who've been going back and forth all night long. Maurice just limps on the button, 10-5. Now, interesting fact, you need a 10 or a 5 either in your hand or on the board to make a straight. Maurice has got 2 of them.
And now a raise by HB. He says, I got Jack 10. Let's raise this thing up to $260,000. You know, when you have a Jack 10, speaking of straights, you typically have the nuts. It's either the end of the straight or the bottom of the Broadway.
Very nice, very nice.
So the raise is to $260,000. Maurice makes the call, and the flop comes out Queen 10-6, couple of clubs.
Both players flopping second pair. I expect, wow, nice check here by Maurice in position.
Turn card, another queen, this time the Queen of Hearts.
He really does well in managing his pot sizes because he's just going to flat here, I'm sure, as HB leads in on the turn with what he believes is the best hand, and it is, and Maurice does just make the call. Very well played poker hand here.
All right, to the river we go. It's the deuce of spades. Action on HB. He's got the check mark.
Now he's getting out some value chips.
And it's a bet of $250,000.
Ooh,
and a
small.
Quick call.
Yeah,
a
small,
quick
weakish.
call.
Yeah, value bet that gets paid off. A nice hand played by both players. Key, 1.6 million chip pot, HB's way. He wins that fight.
Yeah, Maurice with kicker issues there. They both have 2 pair. But the jack plays, and HB stacks his chips. As we continue, blinds are 60,000, 120,000. The 60K big blind ante. I'm James Larson alongside Kenneth James. Glad you're with us here on the HPT from the Ameristar St. Charles.
Now HB on the button with 10-8. The offsuit one gapper. Ooh, Maurice, let's see how he plays this queen jack. Is he going to raise it up?
Yeah, he's going to raise it up to 295,000 chips.
Very important when you're out of position and you have these marginal hands. A lot of people like to just defend with a flat. I like the aggressive play, taking the lead and then try and win it with a C-bet on the flop. That looks like what Maurice's plan is here as the flop comes.
And it's 9-7 Trey.
Ooh, HB flops an open-ended straight.
Maurice is first. He'll go ahead and bet 425,000. And HB says, you know what, I'd like to see another straight here.
Yeah. And it's going to be hard for Maurice to put HB on the type of hand he has. It's more likely, if HB calls here, that he's going to put him on some type of a pair, like a 9 or a 7. So unless a queen or a jack or a 10 falls, I expect Maurice to check.
All right, to the turn card we go. It is the 10 of clubs.
Yeah.
So HB pairs his 10.
Very interesting hand here. Now does HB go for some protection? Looks like he's going to do it.
The bet is 600,000.
Look at these players trading jabs back and forth. 2.7 million chip pot. To the river we go.
And the river card is a blank. It's the 4 of hearts.
Yeah, Maurice has got to know that his only chance to win is to make a bet, but he conserves his chips, rightly so.
And HB is going to flip over the winner. His 10-8 hand is going to be good enough to drag that pot of about 2.700,000 as we continue. Heads up action. Up top, 113,322. Not too shabby for second place. $71,743.
HB opening up a chip lead now. He has the button. And he just flats. Now, I don't like this. I'd rather him raise it 2.5x, force his opponent to some kind of a hand. Instead, he gives up the betting lead. Maurice taking it from him with the raise here with the 5-4. He's most certainly will defend with his ace-deuce.
Yeah, Maurice raises to 270,000, and HB is going to make the call.
Yeah, your hand isn't big enough to really slow play.
All right, let's go to the flop. It's ace-king Trey, couple of diamonds.
It might be now. He's flop top pair. It's an easy call. But Maurice with the gut shot wheel draw could really do something spectacular if a deuce came on the turn.
Turn card is the king of hearts.
Not to be.
And look at that. Maurice has already bet the river.
Yeah, this is obviously a weak bluff here, just trying to win in any manner. It's not going to happen. HB drags another pot.
All right, time to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, more heads-up action right here on the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. Heads up action continues. HB with a slight lead over Maurice. Let's get back to the action.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call without looking. Let's change it up. Call.
He was betting in the dark. Now he's playing in the dark.
He said he's going to call without looking.
Yeah, sometimes, if you look at your cards, it influences what you're going to do.
Yeah. So really, if you're HB, you should always raise here, right? I mean, you got a guy that's playing in the dark. He could have 7 deuce, but instead he's got pocket 4s.
That's how you get him to
Yeah,
putt
now
time.
He's looked back.
He's about to putt. First down.
Well, I think he's got the wrong game here. We're playing poker, not football, but he's having fun. The flop is queen 10-5. No help for either player.
Check, check. To the turn we go.
Turn cards, the 5 of diamonds. And HB is just kind of sitting back going, what's going on over here? What's my opponent trying to do to me here? Let's go to the river card, king of spades. So the 4s are good. We'll see if HB decides to bet.
Not a lot of blood in this hand. Just one raise, pre, and a call.
What you got? Ace what?
And Maurice says, what do you got, ace what? I got pocket 4s.
And the celebration continues.
Well played, my friend. Well played.
Yeah, that's going to even things up here.
Yeah, 160. There we go.
All right, well, Maurice is feeling it right now.
Yeah, he is. These guys, the chip count is dead even, James.
Wow, after all that play, man, this is awesome. Heads up, deadlocked. Chip counts are the same. Let's play some poker.
This is a horse race. If he's going to go football analogy, I'm going to go horse analogy. These guys are nose to nose as we come down to the wire.
All right, HB raises to 400,000 and a call is made. The flop is 986.
Oh my.
Look at that.
Look at this, Maurice flopping the straight here.
900,000 is an ounce.
And now a raise by Maurice to 900,000. HB paired his 6.
And look at Maurice's cadence, his tempo. Almost draws his
Ace
opponent in.
of heart. I'm sorry, that was very tough. Ace of heart.
Maurice, he's having fun. He asked for the ace of hearts, and that's what came.
Woo, it must be my day, y'all. This is crazy.
Race is first.
1.3 million. This is crazy. That's an ace of heart, and it comes off like I seen it coming before I come. Look at that. 1.3 million. Look at the ace of heart.
All in.
Ace of heart.
All in.
Call.
HB. And a call.
And Maurice says, absolutely, I will take that. Can you believe what you're seeing?
Did you see that routine? And then Maurice went deadly serious as soon as he heard his opponent go all in.
Asking for the card he didn't need. It was actually his opponent's card. And the river
That's
card
it.
is the queen of clubs, and that's going to do it. Just like that, a new HPT champion. Maurice will go home with $113,322.
What a fantastic finish to a great event.
While Maurice, towards the end there, was starting to make it look easy, calling cards, betting in the dark. It reminded me of Babe Ruth when he'd point to the center field wall and then hit a home run.
He was definitely in stroke, high confidence moment. Ever since he won that key 3-way all-in, he built that chip stack and never relinquished the lead.
But we got to give credit to HB as well. Made it through a field of over 340 entrants to finish second for a very nice payday and an interview with our tournament director, Jeremy Smith.
I know you wanted to win this, but what's going through your mind right now?
What's going through my mind is how much fun I had over the last 3 days.
Awesome.
I'll tell you, I played in some, out in Vegas and some World Series events. You guys, HPT puts on a great tournament. The dealers are very nice, and they're you guys are, the people who direct this tournament are awesome, and just had a great time, obviously. So yeah, really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it. You had a good time now with second place, so you're still going to receive just over $71,000. Any plans for the money?
Yeah, I got some plans for it. I've got my daughter who's having a baby in November, and so we're going to put some college money away for them, and so that's and maybe got some friends and family that could probably use a little help, and we're going to try to help them too. So yeah. I've definitely got some plans.
There you go. Yeah, our second place finisher. Let's give him a round of applause, guys. Nice job.
How about HB? Gracious in defeat. He's really in for the fun of the experience. I really appreciate that. While a lot of people are in for the titles, and the title tonight goes to Maurice Hawkins.
Yes, I call him Mr. Hollywood, and he really excelled underneath the lights and the cameras. He's going home with the bragging rights, the title, and of course, the life-changing cash, but not before he catches up with our tournament director, Jeremy Smith.
That was brutal. I played that man over and over again, grind him down, grind him back up. He played his, I can't say it, butt off, and I just got lucky.
Yeah. This is day 3 of the main event. Was there a point in day 2 or today where you said, I'm going to win this tournament?
Yeah, when I got on the flight.
When you got on the flight to get here?
Yeah, I was at my friend Lake House, and he said I had to glow, and I said I'm gonna go and do some Bruce Leroy on the boys in St. Louis, and then I hit running full house against Middleset, and that felt good, and then I knew that was the beginning of something special.
Very special indeed. Once again, congratulations to Maurice.
Yeah, now he can add an HPT title to that trophy case. And I like the way he balanced both humility and recognizing that he got a little lucky at times with that confidence. Well done.
All right, that's a wrap for us here at the Ameristar Casino St. Charles. What a week it has been. Want to thank the dealers, the entire staff, and of course, the players for making this such an awesome event. Now, if you're watching this at home and you're thinking, well, hey, I'd like to play on TV for the life-changing cash, why not give it a shot? Simply log on to hptpoker.com and look for an event that will work for you. For our tournament director, Jeremy Smith, he's Kenneth James, and I'm James Larson. We'll see you next time right here on the HPT.